Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am NinjaGuyX and today we'll be taking an overall look and putting some general thoughts at Boosteroid, a cloud gaming service that lets you play PC games on low-end devices. If you're looking at getting yourself up to date with Boosteroid, you're at the right place, so let's have a look and see if this is the right service for you. So for those who don't know me, I come from a Google Stadia background. I was exclusively doing content for the platform and nothing else in terms of cloud gaming interested me. The reason is because what I enjoyed the most out of Stadia was the seamless console experience. Clicking a button to jump right into a game just blew my mind and ran extremely well. Plus, you just needed to buy a game without any subscription and you could play it forever. Just like, well, a console. Fast forward to today, Stadia is gone and I wasn't sure if I was actually going to continue playing in the cloud. There were 3 cloud services that stood out for me, and Boosteroid was one of them. Now the crazy thing about Boosteroid is that they're competing against other services that has a brand that supports them, while Boosteroid is an independent company and can work as good as any other. Alright, so let's talk about Boosteroid. So as I mentioned, Boosteroid is a cloud gaming service. This means basically that you can play a game from a server far away from you, and the image is projected to whichever device you want. Boosteroid supports PC platforms such as Steam, Epic Games, and Origins, Battle.net, and other. You have to purchase the game on that specific platform, and when you launch the game from the Boosteroid, it can recognize that you own the game by looking at your credentials. So you've purchased the game, great! But Boosteroid needs an income to maintain themselves. Currently, you can subscribe month to month at 9.89 euros a month, or if you pay annually, you save a little by paying 89.89 euros. The payment is converted to your currency when subscribing. In my opinion, the price is fair and competitive to what it delivers, but the one thing that I wish that it had was trials. Cloud gaming is still not a perfect service, and it doesn't mean that it'll work well for everyone. So it's always good to have a tryout to make sure that it works fine, or else you end up wasting your money or not trying at all due to not knowing. Keep in mind that not all games on all platforms will work on Boosteroid. The publisher of the game needs to quote-unquote opt in the cloud, and then some arrangement needs to be done. But that being said, the library is excellent. So the thing is, in comparison to other cloud services, the power of their servers are a little bit behind. So when I see a game that is on another service like a Plague Tale Requiem, Dark Tide, and Hitman, I'd rather just play it on a more powerful service. But that doesn't mean that Boosteroid is not worth it, because they have really good games that are not on other services like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hogwarts Legacy, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Call of Duty on Steam. Also, we've learned that Boosteroid will be upgrading their servers to 120 FPS and 4K resolution sometime soon, so the competition might become more fierce. It's very impressive seeing an independent company like this because they also have an app for your PC, phone, and Android TV. They work pretty well. I was actually using my browser at first to play, but then I tried the app and it was working better. Now, in terms of quality, and this can vary per location, my experience is, I'd say, 3.25 positive, maybe a little bit more. I've put about 24 hours in Final Fantasy VII Remake on Boosteroid and mostly played on my TV. I can definitely get immersed in the game, but I don't know if you noticed from the gameplay videos that I've showed, but sometimes there are some jittery lag, and I'm not sure if it's because of my connection or actually the server having issues. It's hard to tell, but I do hope that the 4K 120 FPS upgrade will fix that. I'm sure that it'll improve at some point. You know, my connection is not the best. I have a ping of around 40 to 50 milliseconds, but personally it's not enough for me to notice it unless I'm playing a first-person shooter that requires a lot of precision. Something super positive about Boosteroid is that their app on Android TV is giving me the fastest latency compared to other services. I was quite surprised when I gave it a try. Boosteroid has some great customer support. Now that I think about it, do any other services have that? Anyway, I had an issue with Final Fantasy VII Remake. For some reason, if I changed the settings to 60 frames per second, the game would always crash on me after playing around 30 minutes. I was very sloppy when I contacted them. I mentioned the issue. I didn't have a screenshot or anything to help them out, and it pretty much ended like that. But surprisingly, a few days later, this issue was gone. I had no idea if it had to do with my customer support, but I was pretty happy about it. Boosteroid is very open at telling us to contact support if you have any issues. Okay, it's time to just throw in all the nitpicks that I have for the service. Just to be clear, I'm happy with the service, but there is room for improvement. The first thing is that I wish that it had some kind of sync button to add the Steam library to Boosteroid. It's annoying going through their library and ask myself, do I have this game? Before I add it in my list. Something unfortunate is that when I change any settings in the game, it never saves, so I always have to put them back after I start my game. I'd love to see a seamless experience between starting the game and getting it. Right now, when you start the game, you always get introduced to the Steam app, and then you have to go through the library in it and click the game. This is an annoyance, especially if you play on your TV and you have to go through it with your controller. A weird thing about it is that you can actually download a game that is not supported from Steam and play it no problem, although they probably don't encourage that. So some games are independent to the cloud save. It's not ideal because when I'm done playing, I have to close the game, then wait for it to sync before I close Boosteroid. There's been a few instances where I forgot to do that and lost an hour of gameplay progression. And that's about it for nitpicks. Now, a few positive things for fun. The Boosteroid team is pretty active in development. We keep seeing some new stuff coming from them. You can learn more about what they do by following them on Twitter. The UI is pretty good. The recently played games are always first. You can add the games to your library for quick access, and the search bar is useful. Their library has a lot of free games and some demos too, so it's not an issue if your Steam collection is thin. They've added the feature to stream straight to YouTube, which is pretty amazing. I had a chance to give it a try and it's pretty solid. The setup is super simple, and all you have to do is click a button to go live. I wish that there were more options to set up the stream though, but other than that, my 1 hour stream works flawlessly. And that's all I have to say about Boosteroid. I hope that it gives you a clear understanding on the service and that you can make a good decision on whether it's good for you or not. I'm always open for questions, so if you do, put them in the comments below. Boosteroid is an independent company from Ukraine, so they really appreciate any support that you give them. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're looking for some Boosteroid and other cloud gaming livestream, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Have a good one, guys!